Rita sat composed in the waiting room of the courthouse. Her hands were clasped in her lap, her gaze lowered, and her heart was beating too fast to hide it. But her face remained impassive. She had learned not to give in, at least not in appearance, not after everything she had experienced. Next to her, the lawyer was leafing through some papers. In front of that closed door, a chapter of her life was about to close. Her marriage to Marco was over, not with respect, not with understanding, but with screams, insults, and a scene she would never forget. In front of relatives and friends, Marco had called her a mistake, a burden. He had thrown his wedding ring on the floor and laughed in her face. He had told her that she was a mediocre woman without ambition, someone who wasn't worth his time. Rita had remained silent, not out of weakness, but because every additional word would have been an additional wound. That same evening, she had packed her bags and left. Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. In the days that followed, she had locked herself in the house. She had cried, of course. She had thought about everything 1,000 times to understand what or where she had gone wrong, but no answer could justify the treatment she had received. Then, one morning, something strange, nausea, weakness, a tiredness that she could not explain. She bought a pregnancy test. She took it trembling. 2 pink lines, unmistakable. Rita was pregnant. She sat on the edge of the tub for hours staring into space. Should I tell him or keep it to myself? But how could he understand? In the end, she chose the second option. She would not beg for understanding from the person who had humiliated her. She did not want pity nor duties. That child was hers, and that was enough. Month after month, Rita faced the pregnancy alone. Every visit, every ultrasound, every night spent awake talking to that life growing inside her. It was difficult, yes, but she felt like she was being reborn. She was rebuilding herself, piece by piece. Then the day of the hearing arrived. Marco arrived late, as usual, and as cocky as ever. He was about to sit down when he saw Rita get up. Her coat opened, revealing the gentle curve of her pregnancy. He was left speechless. "Rita, are you pregnant?" The voice broke the silence in the waiting room. Everyone turned. She said nothing. She looked at him calmly and simply replied, "Yes." She entered the courtroom without adding anything else, leaving Marco standing, stunned. After the hearing, he followed her out. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked, his voice trying to be gentle. "Because you're not a part of my life anymore, and I didn't want you to become one just out of guilt. He's my son, but yes, he's yours. But I don't want anything from you. I'll do it all by myself." Marco tried to say more, but Rita walked away. The truth was that those words had cost her more than she wanted to admit. In the following weeks, however, something changed. Marco started sending her messages. Not invasive, just present. He asked her how she was, if she needed anything. He left her groceries in front of her door. He wrote her good night without expecting a response. Rita tried to stay distant, but one afternoon she found a box in front of the door. Inside was a tiny bodysuit with the words, "My dad is waiting for me," written on it, and an envelope. And the result of a DNA test that Marco had done on his own, without asking for anything, and a handwritten letter. "I said words you didn't deserve. I despised you and humiliated you in front of everyone. I destroyed everything we had, but I never stopped thinking about you. Maybe I'm not ready to be a better partner, but I want to try as a father. If you allow me, I don't ask for forgiveness. I only ask to be there." Rita cried. For the first time in months, she freed herself for a moment from the armor she had built to avoid suffering, or at least that's what she thought. She didn't answer right away, or rather, she didn't answer at all. But when the time for the birth approached, she wrote to him. Just 3 words: "I'm about to give birth." Marco arrived at the hospital out of breath, short of breath, and with his heart in his throat. When Rita saw him come in, for the first time she felt that she was not alone. A part of her was waiting for him and hoped he would arrive before the fateful moment. He took her hand, stayed by her side throughout the labor, and when Andrea was born, he cried with her. That same evening, in the room lit only by the soft light of a lamp, Rita watched him as he cradled the newborn. "I don't know if we'll be able to go back to being the same as before, but I want Andrea to have a present father. I'll do everything I can to be one," he replied in a faint voice. From that day on, a slow transformation began. Marco didn't talk much anymore, but he did. He showed up every day, brought her milk, changed diapers, helped around the house. He didn't try to win her back. He simply stayed. And over time, Rita lowered her defenses, not because she forgot the pain, but because she saw the change, real and constant. A year later, they were celebrating Andrea's first birthday. Between colored balloons and chocolate cake, Marco took Rita's hand. "I'm not asking for another chance. I just want to know if today you're okay." She looked at him. "Yes, and a part of this okay is you." They both smiled. It wasn't a fairy tale return. It was something more real. 2 hurt people who had chosen to rebuild. Every evening, Rita read a story to Andrea, sitting next to Marco on the sofa. The soft light of the lamp drew delicate shadows on the walls, and Rita's voice flowed softly between the pages. Marco listened in silence, sometimes adding a funny joke, sometimes simply observing with silent gratitude. When Andrea fell asleep with his little hands clutching his favorite stuffed toy, Rita looked at him for a long time. In those closed eyes, in that quiet breathing, she saw the meaning of everything. Life, despite the pain, had given her an immense gift. Not only that wonderful child, but also the strength to get up again, to believe in herself again. She had realized on her skin that love, true love, doesn't scream, doesn't hurt, doesn't demand. Love supports, repairs, grows with you. And even if Marco had made a mistake, even if the past couldn't be erased, something had changed. In him, in her, and in their story. Did you like this story? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next story.